Is Nikola Jokic's best game of the playoffs behind him or still to come? That is our main question we're talking about, and it's coming on the heels of 2, you could say even 3 straight below average, well below average Jokic games. So it's 2-2 right now in the series. We're headed on the road for Game 5. Do you think Jokic's best game of this playoffs is ahead of him?
It is ahead of him. It is ahead of him. We have, actually, it's hard to believe now because he is the bastion of consistency. But we have at times reached crossroads where we've wondered, hang on, wouldn't the Jokic we expect, wouldn't the Jokic we know have come through here? And he didn't. But that's not in moments where the series ended. I mean, Game 7 against the Wolves, maybe the largest exception. We know how good he was in that series. But let's go back to Utah, right? In the bubble. You just think, man, this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't what I signed up for. Every time you reach that breaking point with Jokic, he drops what I like to call a reminder game. Personally, I think a reminder game is coming here in one of the next 3, should they get to Game 7. I think it'll be Game 5. Jokic is too good. This is not just missed shots. This is not just coincidence. OKC Thunder's defense deserves credit. The spacing is essential to what's going on. But Jokic also is just playing below standard. And I honestly, fellas, would be shocked if it continues.
He has a really good game so far in these playoffs. He has a couple.
And he has 2.
Game 1 against OKC, 40-26, or whatever, 42-22 and 6.
Yep.
And then against the Clippers, he had a statement game as well.
36, 21, and 8.
Yeah, and just the monster third quarter. I think it's probably coming as well. And a big reason why it could come is just if he finds his shot. Because he has taken a lot of threes in this series against the Thunder. He has to, just with how OKC is able to guard the Nuggets with the lack of shooting and spacing Denver has, how they can really just park themselves in the paint. Jokic has to take a lot of threes to stretch out this Thunder defense. He's shooting 21% from 3 in this series.
Man.
Through 4 games, he's shooting 21% from 3 on 7 3-point attempts per game. Like, that's pretty much as many as Anthony Edwards takes per game in the playoffs. So he's taking a lot. Unless his elbow is just like done and he can't shoot anymore, I think that flips in one game, 5, 6, or maybe 7. And so that's the biggest reason why I think the signature Jokic game of these playoffs could still be to come. He's shooting from 3. He's trying to get it to fall. It just hasn't. I'm betting it does.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the repeated patterns in life. And we've been here before. We've seen this. Maybe not to this degree, although it could be argued that Jokic looked completely contained and bottled up, obviously years ago, but against the Jazz with Rudy Gobert, and it really looked like, oh man, did we bet on the wrong horse? And since that time, he's just gotten better and better and better and better. I think it's insane to put a nail in any coffin containing Nikola Jokic, saying that his best of anything has already been seen. We just see.
I mean, this year, to be clear, not like
no,
forever.
I know, but
maybe the greatest
even still.
Yeah,
it's just until like I just can't possibly believe we've already seen the best when we're maybe I think now halfway through the playoffs as far as wins are concerned. Nikola Jokic has a funny way of figuring things out. He has a funny way of just standing up against the opposition and just doing exactly what they hope he doesn't do. He looked a little tired, maybe you could say, down the stretch last game. You could kind of give reasons why, not the least of which being a suffocating defensive strategy from the Thunder and just like really putting a lot of pressure on him. But he's just a 5-tool player. He has every answer. He can shoot it from deep. He can shoot the mid-range. He can get in deep. He can play off the block. He can just be a decoy and worry about passing the ball around, getting people open. He has an answer for everything. So I would be amazed if we'd seen his best playoff game to date.
The difference, though, between what you're referencing, the bubble in 2020, is that Jokic is a fully formed player now. Mm-hmm. That was Jokic becoming 2020. He has been since 2021, where he won his first MVP. He has been that since then. And so now this is a unique struggle, and I credit the Oklahoma City defense. I think this is his toughest challenge. And it's funny because Zubac's might have been his toughest individual challenge, but this is a team challenge that is really difficult for him. That being said, I do think Jokic will find a way, but here's my one concern, and it's actually both my biggest concern, but also why I think Jokic will have a good game coming up here sometime to finish out the series. He is right now showing some immaturity, in my opinion. He is getting frustrated. He is getting flustered by a variety of things, including officiating, physicality, and just by how difficult this is because he can't really rely on the things he mostly likes to rely on. But I think that Game 4 represents a turning point in the series, and I think Jokic is willing to do what it takes to win. And right now, what it takes is a little checking of the ego, checking of the temper, checking of his emotions, and saying, that's the challenge. Accept it or don't.
Yep. Completely agree. And yeah, I completely agree. It's there's not going to be a magic switch to the game plan, the spacing, or how you're being officiated. There probably isn't. I mean, look, maybe some game to game the whistle will be a little different, but
I mean, we're 11 games into the playoffs for the Nuggets. Like, the whistle is going to be the whistle.
Yeah.
And this is the deal. And by the way, it was the whistle when they won the title too. Now, a lot of
Absolutely.
things went right for them, but one of them was Jokic just deciding, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I will overcome.
Yeah.
And I think that the wanting to overcome a challenge thing, I do think is in Jokic's blood, and I hope that it manifests here.
Jokic has been a positive plus minus in 3 of the 4 games. Game 2, everybody was a negative. He was a minus 36. He was a plus 10 in game 1, plus 5 in game 3, plus 1 in this last one. To me, he hasn't played well and still been a plus. And part of me, that's what's so encouraging. And these stat lines, it's not like they were bad. 27-13. What's bad is the shooting and 3 assists.
And just how it's looked.
And how
the
it's looked.
turnovers.
And the turnovers for sure. And the turnovers have been tough in this series for sure. Although only 2 in the last game. That's kind of surprising. But nonetheless, you guys make shots. All of a sudden, it just opens things up a little bit. I do think that what the Thunder are doing is exactly the toughest thing that you can throw at Jokic. Packing the paint, putting 2 7-footers on the court, getting physical. That's the toughest thing.
Yeah.
But I also think Jokic hasn't handled it to his standard yet, and it's 2-2.
Yeah. He's got to get over the officiating. I mean, he's perfectly right to have his gripes about it. We're all watching the same games out there. But it is what it is at this point. He's just got to move on. His frustrations around the guys he's on the court with, again, very valid. I mean, this is as little a shooting as you can have, like, around a star player and still win as many games as the Nuggets have. I mean, you even think about going back to last year. Nuggets had more shooting than they have right now. The championship team, definitely more shooting. And so he has every right to be frustrated there. But you've got where you got at this point. I really do wonder if last game could be a turning point. And for as frustrated as he was and for as poorly as he played, they still should have won that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you think. Can Jokic have another masterpiece game? It's 2-2. So there's 2 or 3 games left in this series. Do you think he has his best game of the playoffs, or is it already behind him? We'll see your answers. See you next time.